Welcome back to Terror and Urban Myths. We're always excited to, bring you another unsettling tale, a tale that's sure to send chills down your spine. And if you're enjoying these explorations, these explorations into the dark side of reality, please don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this episode a like. It really helps others discover the show.
It's fascinating, it's fascinating how these stories, these whispers of the unknown, continue to captivate us. They remind us that even in our world of data and technology, there are still enigmas that defy explanation.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And tonight we're diving headfirst into one such enigma, the strange case of Room 322 at the Hotel Zaza in Houston, Texas.
This particular story, which surfaced online back in 2016, is especially compelling because it's not just a ghost story. It's not a campfire tale.
Right.
It's a real-life experience backed up by photographic evidence that left those involved deeply unsettled. It all began with a group of colleagues on a business trip across the vast expanse of Texas. To save on travel costs, they opted for a bus journey. As the day wore on, and they traversed the seemingly endless highways, they found themselves making a late-night stop at the upscale Hotel Zaza in Houston.
It's almost like the calm before the storm, isn't it? That sense of normalcy just before things take a sharp turn into the unsettling.
Precisely. And the turning point in the story came in the form of a WhatsApp message. One of the colleagues sent a message to the group that immediately caused a stir. A sense of unease that was so palpable that they all ended up gathering outside one particular room, room 322.
When we hear about strange hotel rooms, we often imagine things like misplaced furniture, flickering lights, maybe an odd smell. But this was something entirely different.
What they encountered inside room 322 was so far removed from the expected, hotel room experience, it defied easy categorization. It wasn't simply a matter of the wrong room type or a maintenance oversight. This room was fundamentally different.
So what exactly did they find inside this mysterious room 322?
Imagine walking into a hotel room, expecting the usual comforts and amenities, only to find yourself standing on a bare concrete floor. No carpet, no tiling, just cold, hard concrete.
That's unsettling right from the start.
Oh.
It strips away that layer of comfort and familiarity that you expect in a hotel room.
Exactly, and the unsettling features didn't stop there. The artwork adorning the walls was described as strange and disturbing, far removed from the typical, generic hotel art.
It's amazing how artwork can have such a profound impact on a space. The wrong piece can instantly shift the atmosphere from welcoming to unsettling.
Absolutely. But perhaps the most chilling detail of all was the presence of chains near the bed. Not decorative chains, mind you, but heavy-duty chains. Chains that seem to serve a more functional purpose.
Chains in a hotel room. That immediately sends the mind racing, trying to imagine what possible use they could have served. It's a detail ripped straight from a psychological thriller.
And as if the chains and the disturbing artwork weren't enough, there was one final detail that added another layer of intrigue. To the already unsettling scene, a prominently displayed portrait of Jay Como.
Como. That name rings a bell.
He's a Texan businessman, notorious for his involvement in a massive Wall Street embezzlement scandal that ultimately landed him behind bars. His presence in this room, in the form of a portrait, adds a layer of almost sinister symbolism to the entire scenario.
It's like a silent observer, a reminder of the consequences of greed and deceit. So we have a bare concrete floor, disturbing artwork, chains, and a portrait of a convicted felon. This is a far cry from the relaxing and luxurious experience one would expect from a hotel like the Zaza.
And what makes this story even more compelling is that it unfolded in the age of smartphones and social media. Everyone involved had a camera at their fingertips, and they documented the entire experience with photographs. We're not dealing with hearsay or faded memories here. There's tangible visual evidence of the strangeness that unfolded within those walls.
We actually have some photos of a standard room at the Hotel Zaza, along with the images taken inside room 322. Let's take a look and compare them.
Here's a photo of a typical room at the Zaza. As you can see, it's well appointed, with carpeted floors, standard hotel artwork, a headboard on the bed, all the usual comforts. Now look at the photos of room 322. The contrast is stark. The bare concrete floor, the exposed walls, the unsettling artwork, it's like stepping into an alternate reality. A hidden pocket of unease tucked away within this otherwise luxurious establishment.
It's truly jarring. It's like these two rooms exist on different planes of existence.
Yeah.
And I imagine the group who stumbled upon room 322 were quite shaken by the experience.
They were, understandably so, and their next course of action adds yet another layer of intrigue to this already baffling story. They decided to confront the hotel staff about the bizarre room they had been assigned.
It's a natural reaction. Faced with something so inexplicable, you want answers. You want reassurance that there's a logical explanation.
But the interaction they had with the hotel staff only served to deepen the mystery surrounding room 322. They went down to the reception area and inquired about the room, expressing their concern and confusion.
I imagine the staff was used to dealing with a variety of guest requests and complaints,
Right.
but this must have been something entirely different.
The receptionist, clearly caught off guard by their inquiries, called for the supervisor, and when the supervisor arrived, they were visibly shaken, almost as if they knew exactly what the group was about to describe.
It's almost as if the staff was expecting this, as if they knew that room 322 was a ticking time bomb waiting to go off.
That's a very astute observation. According to the accounts of those present, the supervisor immediately acknowledged that there had been a mistake, apologized profusely, and promptly moved the guest who had been assigned to room 322 to a different room.
It's interesting that they didn't even try to explain the room's features or offer any kind of justification for its existence. It was almost as if they were trying to sweep it under the rug as quickly as possible.
And that's precisely what they did. Room 322 was immediately closed off, sealed shut as if it were a contaminated zone. It became clear that this room, whatever its purpose may have been, was never intended for occupancy.
It's like they were trying to erase its existence, to pretend that it never happened. But, of course, the internet never forgets. The images and stories surrounding Room 322 continue to circulate online, attracting the attention of curious onlookers and amateur sleuths.
And what makes this story even more intriguing is the complete lack of official information about Room 322. If you visit the Hotel Zaza's website, you won't find any mention of it. They have detailed descriptions of their luxury suites, their amenities, their various room types, but Room 322 is conspicuously absent from their online presence.
It's almost as if it never officially existed, a phantom room lurking within the walls of this upscale hotel. And this absence of an official explanation, this deliberate silence surrounding Room 322 only serves to amplify the mystery and fuel further speculation.
We're left with more questions than answers. What was the purpose of this room? Why was it decorated in such a bizarre and unsettling manner? And why is the Hotel Zaza so intent on pretending it never existed?
These are the questions that have haunted those who have stumbled upon this story. And as we delve deeper into the various theories and possible explanations for Room 322, keep those questions in mind. The answers, or lack thereof, might surprise you.
You know, the human mind, it's wired to, seek patterns to connect the dots, create narratives that explain the unexplainable. And when faced with a mystery like Room 322, it's only natural for us to try and fill in the blanks, to come up with theories that might shed light on its true nature.
Right. It's that innate curiosity, that drives us to explore the unknown, to seek answers to the questions that linger in the shadows. So let's dive into some of the theories that have emerged around Room 322. Perhaps in examining these different perspectives, we can inch closer to understanding this perplexing enigma.
One of the most prevalent theories, perhaps due to its simplicity, is that Room 322 was simply the result of, a colossal mistake, an accidental booking into a room that was never meant for guests. This theory suggests that perhaps the room was undergoing renovations or was being used for storage, and somehow, through a clerical error, ended up on the list of available rooms.
But as we've discussed, the features of Room 322 go far beyond a simple case of unfinished renovations or misplaced furniture. The bare concrete floor, the chains, the disturbing artwork, the portrait of J. Como, these details seem too deliberate, too carefully curated, to be dismissed as mere oversights.
You're right to be skeptical of that theory. It's tempting to seek comfort in the familiar, to attribute the strange and unsettling to simple human error. But the evidence in this case suggests something far more deliberate, something that defies easy categorization.
And that leads it to another theory, one that delves into the realm of surveillance and covert operations. Some believe that Room 322 might have been used for monitoring individuals, perhaps by law enforcement agencies, or even private investigators. The presence of the two-way mirror certainly lends credence to this line of thinking.
A two-way mirror, for those unfamiliar, is a piece of glass that functions as a mirror on one side while allowing for observation from the other. It's a classic tool of surveillance often used in interrogation rooms and police lineups. In the context of Room 322, It's easy to imagine how such a mirror could be used to observe unsuspecting individuals.
Imagine yourself checking into this room late at night, exhausted from a long journey, unaware that your every move is being scrutinized. From behind a seemingly innocuous mirror, it's a chilling thought, one that speaks to our deepest fears about privacy and the unseen forces that might be watching us.
And the placement of the bed directly facing the mirror adds another layer of intrigue to this theory. It's as if the room was designed to ensure that that whoever occupied it was constantly within the line of sight of those observing from the other side.
It's a subtle yet powerful detail that speaks volumes about the potential intent behind the design of this room. But even the surveillance theory, with its echoes of spy thrillers and clandestine operations, doesn't quite encompass the full spectrum of unease that Room 322 evokes.
There's a darkness, a sense of underlying menace that seems to permeate the very walls of this room. And that's led some to speculate that its purpose might have been far more sinister, involving not just observation, but also control, perhaps even coercion or intimidation.
It's a difficult thought to entertain, but given the room's features, it's not entirely outside the realm of possibility. The chains, for example, could have been used to restrain individuals against their will. The bare concrete floor, devoid of any comfort or warmth, could have been a deliberate tactic to create a sense of vulnerability and powerlessness.
And the unsettling artwork with its disturbing imagery and cryptic symbolism could have been a carefully chosen element, designed to, disorient and unsettle those who found themselves within those walls.
It's as if someone took the concept of psychological warfare and applied it to the design of a hotel room, creating an environment that would, chip away at the occupant's sense of security and well-being.
That's a chilling thought, and one that perhaps resonates with our own anxieties about the hidden spaces that exist and the places we consider, safe and familiar. But even this theory, with its implications of coercion and control, doesn't fully explain the inclusion of J. Comeau's portrait in the room.
It's a detail that continues to puzzle me. What purpose could it have served? Was it a warning? A reminder of the consequences of crossing certain lines? Or was it something more symbolic, a representation of the darkness that lurked within those walls?
Some have suggested that that Comeau's presence in the form of that portrait was meant to evoke a specific emotional response in those who encountered it. Comeau, as we know, was a man driven by greed and ambition, a man who ultimately fell from grace due to his own transgressions.
Perhaps his portrait was meant to serve as a cautionary tale, a reminder that even in the pursuit of wealth and power, there are certain boundaries that should never be crossed.
Or perhaps it was something more psychological, a way of subtly associating the room with the negative emotions that Comeau's story evokes: greed, betrayal, the corrosive nature of unchecked ambition.
It's fascinating how a single detail, a seemingly innocuous portrait, can add such depth and complexity to the narrative surrounding this room. It's like a key that unlocks a deeper level of understanding, hinting at the motivations and intentions of those who might have orchestrated this strange and unsettling scenario.
Oh.
We've explored the tangible aspects of Room 322, the bare concrete, the chains, the unsettling artwork. But there's another layer to this story that's harder to define.
It's the psychological impact, the lingering sense of unease that stays with you long after you've heard the details. It's the way the story taps into our primal fears, the anxieties that lurk beneath the surface of our modern lives.
Right.
Think about it.
Wow.
We've all stayed in hotels. We trust these places to provide a temporary haven, a sanctuary from the outside world. We check in expecting a certain level of comfort and security. But the story of Room 322 disrupts that sense of trust. It suggests that even in the most mundane and familiar settings, there can be hidden depths, secrets lurking beneath the veneer of normalcy.
Right. It's like that unsettling feeling you get when you realize you're not alone in a dark room. It's the primal instinct that tells us to be wary of the shadows, to be suspicious of the unseen.
And what makes Room 322 so compelling is that it's not just a figment of our imagination. It's a real place with a documented history. There are photographs, eyewitness accounts, tangible evidence that something truly strange occurred within those walls.
Yeah, and the fact that the Hotel Zaza has never officially acknowledged or explained the existence of Room 322 only adds to the mystery. It's as if they're trying to suppress this story. to erase it from the collective memory.
Their silence speaks volumes. It fuels speculation and invites us to, to fill in the blanks with our own theories and interpretations.
Right.
And that's the power of urban legends. They tap into our need to make sense of the world around us, to find explanations for the things that defy logic and reason.
It reflects our anxieties about the unknown, our fears of the forces that might be operating just beyond our perception.
But perhaps the most unsettling aspect of Room 322 is the question it raises about the nature of reality itself.
Yeah.
If something so strange, so inexplicable can exist in a place as ordinary as a hotel room, then what else might be lurking just beyond our field of vision?
It's a thought that can keep you up at night. It makes you question the solidity of the world around you, the boundaries between what we perceive as real and what might lie beyond.
The story of Room 322 challenges our assumptions about the nature of truth. It suggests that even in an age of information and technology, there are still mysteries that defy easy explanation.
It's a reminder that the world is a far stranger and more complex place than we often give it credit for.
It's a call to embrace the unknown, to acknowledge the limits of our understanding, and to be open to the possibility that there are forces at work in the universe that we may never fully comprehend.
So as we conclude our exploration of Room 322, we leave you with this final thought. The mystery remains unsolved. The questions linger. But perhaps the true terror lies not in the answers, but in the act of questioning itself.
The act of confronting the unknown, of peering into the shadows, and acknowledging that there are things in this world that defy our attempts to categorize and explain.
And if you've enjoyed this journey into the heart of an urban legend, be sure to subscribe to our channel and give this episode a like. It helps others discover the show, and it supports our mission to bring you more stories that challenge your perceptions and expand your understanding of the world around us.
Until next time, keep your eyes open for the strange and the unsettling, for you never know what mysteries might be lurking just around the corner.